All right, guys, welcome to the weekly meeting. Tonight we're going to go over some compliance things. That's something that we actually have never really went over. And we just recently had a meeting with some of the leaders in our team. So I'm going to go over some things that we discussed, and I did some research myself on compliance, and it's definitely stuff that we all need to be aware of, and definitely letting our newbies know as well. If we don't follow compliance, then we can actually get suspended, or even let go of the company. So we have to do these certain things. It's simple things, but if we're not aware of it, we may not think of it, and it's very important. So I'm going to go over some compliance things, and then Dodie's going to go over some new month things, and we have a new challenge as well. So I'm going to look at my notes a lot because, again, it's not something that we all know a lot about, and I took a lot of notes. So, all right. So we want to be careful and remember that we want to be considered an MLM, not a pyramid. We don't want to be looked at as a pyramid because our company can get in trouble for being a pyramid. So the difference between a pyramid versus an MLM is selling a product versus the join me now opportunity. There's got to be a balance between customers and ambassadors. So if we're constantly having just everybody join us and we're not having customers, then we become more of a join me now opportunity, which can be considered by the Federal Trade Commission as a thing for a pyramid scheme. So we want to be careful with that. We want to definitely work on PV. PV should really kind of be our focus. And of course, the team growth is big, but we have to remember too that we get 25% commission once we hit 500, and really that 25% commission for every $100 is going to be more than those 5 points. So constantly work towards customers. It's great to have customers, and really every ambassador should really start as a customer, make sure they like the products, things like that. So we want to make sure we have the balance between customers and ambassadors. So let's see. I'm going through my notes because I'm saying things. Again, we want to make sure we have the quality ambassadors, the ambassadors that want the business. Because if they're just a wholesale ambassador, that actually is not good for the company. It lowers pay points, things like that. So we want to work on, again, something that the leaders discuss and Bridget discussed with us is when you're talking to somebody about becoming an ambassador, talk to them about if they have to maybe have 3 customers and that they can get their products for free. But if they're not planning on having those 3 customers and working that towards that goal, then really they probably are better to be a customer. And again, if they do preferred, after 3 shipments or 3 orders, they get 10% off, which almost brings them down to wholesale pricing. So, thinking about quality ambassadors, again, customer versus ambassador comes in play with that. All right, another thing that they talked about was not linking your website to testimonies that you post. So if you post a testimony, you do not want to put your website in the post or in the comments. When you're doing that, you're using someone else's success or testimony to promote your business. So you can't put your website on those type of links or posts. Definitely share those posts and talk about why you're sharing that post. Just don't put that business link in there as far as check out her success and then buy from me. We got to be very careful with medical claims, which we're going to discuss a little bit later. We're going to focus on the products, not the business as far as your posting goes. When presenting the opportunity, present it as far as getting having 3 customers, getting it free. Again, those are just my notes that I came off with the leaders chat that we just did this last week. So I know that's kind of confusing, but now I'm going to go over more detailed things, but I just wanted to go over the keynotes that we took away from that leaders chat. All right, so something you want to write down is the email address for compliance. It's very important that you know this. It is compliance@plexusworldwide.com. If you have any questions at all about something that you're doing. If it's not compliance approved, or if you think you need to have something approved, that is where you're going to email it, and then you will get a response. They're pretty quick at giving responses. There was something that stated an ad or an image could take up to 3 weeks for approval. But from my experience from 18 months of being in the company, the things that I've submitted have gone through pretty quickly. All right, so all of this information I did find in the resources tab on our back office. There's a compliance file or whatever link in that resources tab with a lot of great information. So for advertisements, they have to be approved. So an advertisement is going to be anything that has to do an image or a sales tool of some sort, an ad that you place in a newspaper, a banner that you make, anything like that. So to know if something is approved, it's going to have a 5-digit number with the initials of the compliance person that approved it. So if you're looking at an image and you're wondering, and I meant to have images pulled up, but I forgot to look those up. But if you're looking at an image and you're wondering, can I use this image? If it has Plexus Slim, or it has Plexus Worldwide, or it has our logo, or any type of claim that Plexus puts out, it has to have a compliance approved code, which is, again, the 5 digits with the initials of the person who approved it. So you want to make sure that's on there. Your swag has to be approved. Now, this stuff is very touchy, so this is where it's really weird to talk about, but if it has the Plexus trademark on it, the Plexus Worldwide and Plexus Slim, if it has the logo, anything like that, it has to be approved. Now, if it's just talking about Drink Pink and Shrink, that doesn't have to be approved, because that doesn't have anything to do with Plexus. It just says Drink Pink and Shrink. But if you're purchasing an item, like off of Etsy and things like that, I've looked at myself, it'll actually say compliance approval code, or it should. If it doesn't say that, I probably wouldn't purchase it, because it may not be approved for you to purchase that. The swag has to be approved, but once you actually receive the swag or make the swag, if you have a company, you don't have to put that code on the actual swag item. It only has to be on the it has to be on the advertisement, but not on the actual swag. All right, now the trademark thing, they have the trademark on Plexus Worldwide and Plexus Slim. Now you can use Plexus by itself and you can use Slim by itself, but you cannot use them together because they have that trademark. All right. Another thing is that we cannot sell on eBay, Amazon, or other auction type sites. I've heard that you can sell on Craigslist, but it actually was listed as a cannot sell on Craigslist. But there's further information that talked about how you can post about the business opportunity on Craigslist. I guess you just can't post Plexus Slim $79 or $70, whatever. You can't do that, but you can promote the business part of it through Craigslist, but not the products through Craigslist. When we do sell through the garage sale sites, you're not supposed to sell less than the suggested retail price. Now, I know we see a ton of deals on the garage sale sites, but that is actually not compliance. And if you see that, you can report that. That is a lot of these things are to ensure that it's being fair. It's not fair if somebody goes in and sells all their products at wholesale and you've got all these others promoting themselves, yet they're selling it at retail. Of course, they're going to go with the person that's selling it cheaper. So you cannot sell for less than suggested retail publicly. Now you can't, this is going to be something that we'll talk about too, that you can't post pricing publicly. So if you're on those garage sale sites, you actually cannot say this combo for this amount. You can say contact me for pricing or something like that, but you cannot post a price of anything publicly. You're also not supposed to post specials, the details of your specials publicly. So if you're running the deal of refunding $34.95, you're really not supposed to state that publicly. Or if you're free shipping, I guess you could possibly do. I don't know if you could do free shipping. It doesn't have a number, but you don't want to state, I guess, 10% off publicly. You can state that you're running a special. Contact me for more details, things like that. All right. You cannot post or share any financial information. So, we're always excited to share that our financials posted, and I can pay this, this, and this, but we cannot say I made this amount of money this month, or just an actual dollar amount. Now, we've also seen those images going around with the tiers of how much each level makes. The only ones that are approved are the annual income tier, or the graph where it shows from ambassador up to diamond in a graph. That one is approved. And then the other one is the the stair step one, where it has each tier and the cars and things like that. Those are the only two that are approved. The monthly income, the average monthly income is not approved, and the weekly ones are not approved. We cannot share those images or that information. Now, the reason in that, it says that the success of any ambassador depends largely on the personal efforts of that ambassador. So we can't say that, we can't make it look like it's a guarantee that you're going to make this much money. I didn't write this down, so I can't remember their exact wordings, but there was something about, that you can't say now hiring, because that puts that idea in their head that this is a job, and this is not a job. It's an independent ambassador contractor type job. So you cannot do the now hiring specifically. All right, so you can share a general idea of finances. So you can say, with this paycheck, I paid off my cell phone bill, my water bill, my mortgage, because there's no specific dollar amount. You're not saying that every cell phone bill is $100. You're not saying every mortgage is the same amount. So nobody has the actual idea of what you make. They can kind of make their own idea, but it's not a guarantee. So they can't come back and say, well, you said I was going to make this much money. All right, we cannot make medical claims. So you want to be careful with the saying that something will do this, or it does, that it has cured. You want to be careful and say something like it might help with, or it may help, or it could help, something like that. You have to be careful with your wording. The medical claims are huge in this company. We cannot make medical claims. We are not doctors. We're not approved by the FDA. If we start making those claims, then we'll get caught by the FDA as well, and the Federal Trade Commission. So, cannot make claims. Can say that it might, may, could, that kind of thing, but you cannot say it will. Or you can't even claim that it allowed you to come off your medication. Like, as far as, because of Plexus, I have come off my medication. We don't know that because of Plexus, that's why. So you can state that it, since, I don't even know how to word that actually, because I do it myself. I talk about my husband coming off his medications. But I guess you can't specifically state that it's due to Plexus that you were able to do that. Another one is, what am I saying? Okay. Is volume inflation. This is something that we, especially those of us that have a team going, that we're all guilty of. It is considered inflating your PV or the PV of your downline to assist in ranking or qualifying for commission. So if somebody is trying to rank to gold and they've got a couple ambassadors that are close to 100 PV, it is actually not compliant to go under that ambassador and purchase something to get them to that 100 PV. That is, you're doing that solely to the advantage of yourself, and that's not how you can do you can't do that in these type of companies. So this is the weirdest thing, not the weirdest thing. It's one of those things that you have to just be very careful with. And if you do for some reason purchase as a customer under yourself or under another ambassador, do not use the same credit card number. They link the credit card numbers back to your ambassador account. So if you're an ambassador, then why are you purchasing under other ambassadors as a customer, making it look like we have more customers than we do, that kind of thing. So be very careful with purchasing under yourself or under another ambassador in hopes to inflate your business. The reason is that it's the unfair advantage. Some people can't afford to buy thousands of dollars to boost their personal sales volume. So it's one of those, it's unethical. It's not the way the business should be run. We talked about not posting your specials publicly. Another thing that was under compliance that I really want to talk about, it's not a big deal as far as compliance goes, but I liked what they had to say, was the do's and don'ts of making a video. We are always talking to you guys about making videos, encouraging you to. Very important. It really does boost business. But they did have a really good file about the do's and don'ts of making a video. So I took a few notes. When you start, you definitely want to know what you're going to talk about and be sure that the information is accurate. If you're going into a video and you have no idea, it ends up, you get lost and it sounds confusing and all of that. So being sure that you know what you're going to talk about, making sure it's accurate, and making sure in your mind and knowing in your notes, if you have notes when you're making a video or whatever, that you don't make medical claims. Remember to stay compliant with all of your information. Be professional and look professional. You have to remember that when you're posting a video, this is a job, quote unquote job for you. This is a professional type setting. You're presenting information, and you definitely want it to come across professionally and not. They were talking about being very serious, and we all know about the McCalls. So I guess in that sense, it's going to be your brand, deciding what kind of brand you want for yourself in your videos. But you want to be aware of your background. As a photographer, I completely see this, and I view this stuff all the time and making my own. I'm always cautious about what is being seen in the video. They talked about how, they were looking through a video to be approved for compliance, and that specific compliance person, I don't even know what they're called, was so distracted by everything that was on the shelves in the back. He was trying to count how much stuff they had on their shelves because he was so distracted by what was going on in the background. So be very cautious and very aware of what's going on around you, because you want the full focus on you and not everything else. Let's see. It says, assure that your claims may not be consistent with all people. No product or business will give the desired results of 100% of the time. So you want to let them know that, this is your personal experience. Others may experience other things, but that you're sharing what you are experiencing, and it's not a guarantee for everyone. I've seen a lot of this, this person is talking about is when you're making videos for a business point. Like if you're sharing your why, go with it. Just go with the flow, share from the heart. But if you're sharing something with your team and you're educating them, or you're educating somebody on, or you're doing a video on products, a lot of those videos, they actually do state in the beginning, this is not approved by Plexus. These are personal experiences, things like that. Now, certain videos, they do suggest, or they ask to be approved, but I don't think any of us are at that stage. It's where if you want your video posted on Plexus Worldwide Facebook page, that has to be approved before you post it, or I guess posted on your website if you have your own separate website. Those things have to be approved because that to them is a selling tool type of thing. So that is kind of all I have. I know that information is so scattered, but it really is just a simple rule by rule. Like this is the main things that you need to look for. The biggest ones really are prices, not putting them publicly ever on any type of thing. You should never post a price. What was my other ones? Prices. Financials. Definitely don't post any type of financial. And if you make an image, if it has anything to do, it has the logo of Plexus Slim, it talks about Plexus Slim, it talks about Plexus Worldwide, it has to be approved through compliance. If it's a general information type image, does not have to be approved. But again, if there's any question, just email it, because they really are pretty quick. It may be 24 hours, but again, if you can wait that long, they'll give you that code and you don't have to worry about it. You definitely don't want to be caught not doing things through compliance. You don't want to be suspended, things like that. So, Jody, I don't know if you have some points off of some things on compliance or not, but I know you want to talk about first beginning of the month stuff.
No, not really. That was just a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Thank you for doing that for us. Do you want to open it up for questions and see if anyone has any questions about compliant things?
Yeah, let's do that really quick. Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. I'm just going to share a couple of challenges that Cheryl and I want you guys to do this month. One challenge, and you guys have probably seen this going around, is called Why Plexus. And I know we've all heard of doing dream boards with our goals, but this one's pretty much talking about your why, not so much your actual goals, but what your why is, for why you work towards those goals. So, your why is something you go back to usually in the hard times when you're having rough months or rough weeks. You always want to go back to your why. And everybody's why is different, and it's okay to change. But what I want you to focus on is what your why is at this time. It could be like your family, your kids, retiring your husband, more vacations, financial freedom. It can be one or it can be many things. On these images, they're very simple. I've seen some with just one picture, some with 2, 3, or 4. So there's not many pictures. So they just keep it simple, and they just put a simple post explaining what the why image is. And then we also want you to hashtag your image with why, hashtag why plexus. Is that right, Cheryl? Yeah. Why plexus?
Yeah.
I think so.
It sounds funny, but that is.
Yeah. But what we want you guys to do is just create the image, and you can do this with like a collage app on your phone, or there's collage websites. You can get with us. We can send you some collage type apps if you're not familiar with those. But just create this, and then put why plexus on the image, and then, like I said, do a little post explaining what it is. Some people, it seems like they've been having really good results with this, and we want you to post this on your Facebook page. A lot of people posted their dream boards, and a lot of potentials may not, get that, but I think they may get the why plexus, because that makes it more personal, and they can actually see why you are so passionate and why you share so much about plexus because of your actual why. Let's see what else. And also, Cheryl and I are going to create our why images and probably get those posted soon on the team page so that you can see what we're talking about if you're kind of confused. Okay, and then also, if you guys can do that this week, we'll follow up next Tuesday and just ask you guys, what kind of results you got from posting this, and find out how it went. And then the second challenge that we want you guys to do this month is to post on Facebook every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, different times during the day. I know most of us are already doing this, but I know sometimes it can get busy. I think September is going to be a great month. Everybody's getting back into routine. School started back. People are back to work. The holidays are coming up. A lot of, health with the new year, with the end of the year, right before, coming right up. A lot of people are going to be thinking about, getting back into shape and getting healthy. So I think September is going to be a great month for us. So I think if we can really push it out this month and really focus on posting on Facebook, using the Buffer app. I know we talk about that all the time, using the Buffer app to set your post up for you. But Celeste Gwen does this for all her new ambassadors, and we all know how successful she is. But when she signs a new ambassador, she gets on the phone with them, and she basically tells them one thing to get them started, and she says, post on Facebook. She keeps it simple. And she says to keep lists of every single person who likes, who comments on your Plexus posts, because if you don't, those people will fall through the cracks, and then you want to follow up with them. And this really will lead to your success, guys. Posting every day on Facebook and reaching out and following up. I know we say post all the time, but if you're not actually doing any work, any leg work, as far as, reaching out to these people who are liking your post or following up or reaching out to people that you want on your team, a lot of times these people will fall through the cracks, and it's just so important to just reach out to them. And if they don't say anything right away, just continue to reach out to them over the next few weeks, and then just continue to follow up every month after that. Unless they tell you absolutely no, then continue to keep following up. But that's all she does. She says post on Facebook. And again, we know how successful she is, being the double diamond. So you really want to take that to heart as far as sharing and promoting your business on Facebook. Let's see if there's anything else. And then just one other thing really quick, I just want to remind you guys to set your goals for the month. Setting your goals today really sets the tone for tomorrow. In this business, goals are huge. If you haven't already, get your goals set for the month. You want to set personal volume goals for the month. You want to set, how many ambassadors you're going to add to your team. I always say shoot for 3 new ambassadors. That will keep you, building wide, and you will definitely be successful if you're continuing to add 3 ambassadors. So that should be a goal. And then adding 3 new customers every month. Again, going back to what Cheryl was saying, it's not a just join me type business. You want to continue to keep a good balance of customers and ambassadors. I'm not saying it has to be equal, but you want to continue to always, build your customers. So I think if you're always striving to add 3 new customers every month, that will, be a great goal as well. And then other goals, you can, set goals for talking to people, giving out your business cards, team goals for your team. So those are just some different goals that you can set. And I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I have.
Okay, I had a couple notes off of you.
Okay.
One thing I want to talk about is, I don't know if some of you saw it, but I posted something today about Deanna on our team. I posted it on our group page. She contacted me last month, and we talked about some things for her goals. And she contacted me again today to regroup. And she's wanting some new ambassadors. So I went over a few things, what my thoughts were in the moment as far as maybe what she could do to get those new ambassadors. And the biggest thing that we talked about is I asked her to look through her customers. Again, we want them to start as customers, so that's really where we should always look at. If we're looking for ambassadors, let's look at our customers. So I had her look at her customers and determine if there was anybody that she felt may want to shift from a customer to an ambassador, maybe somebody that's been on the products for a couple months, and actually I'm actually doing this with one of my customers right now, but to look at through her customers and see if anybody would be somebody she thought would be a good ambassador. So she did contact someone that has a pretty good purchase, and they had actually told her before that they're not interested in the business. But she talked to her about why she maybe could benefit from becoming an ambassador as far as the wholesale pricing with a bigger purchase, things like that. And she got her pretty much signed up within 30 minutes. So look through those customer bases. If you're having somebody that's constantly ordering from you month after month, talk to them about the benefit of being an ambassador. Mention to them about, if they could get 3 people to order under them, they could get their products for free. Be careful when you say that, because when I started saying that in the beginning of my business, people were thinking that they were going to get their products for free on top of their commission. So you want to explain that, having 3 customers, you're going to have enough commission that would pay for your products, pretty much something like that. So talking to them about that. And like I said, I'm actually working with one of my customers right now she sent me a message tonight while I was putting my boys to bed and saying that she's out of Slim and she's freaking out, and asked if she could come by and pick up a couple packs because her shipment was out or coming. But so I started talking to her about seeing her freak out about missing out on her Slim. I was like, have you ever thought about sharing your success with others? And she said she actually did just talk to somebody yesterday, and they seemed interested as well. So it opened that door, and I'll continue to talk to her. So if you're looking to build your team, start with your customers. That's obviously the best place to start. Posting on Facebook seriously is huge. 18 months in, and I'm still getting new customers. It may take gaps. I may have a month where I'm not getting a new customer, but if I'm still sharing, people are still seeing. And I've had quite a few, and actually I started using the Buffer app more, and I actually started where I paid the $10 a month so I could fill it up. It's with tons, and I've gotten more and more response from that. I've got a potential ambassador, things like that. So posting seriously is huge. It's one of the things that we've got to get our new ambassadors to understand. Everybody's so hesitant to post so much because they don't want to be that crazy Plexus person. But that crazy Plexus person is making a pretty good paycheck, so they can say what they want to say. So definitely talk to them about posting, encourage them. I know it's difficult. Talk to them why we want to post so much, as far as, you know, people that log in the mornings don't see our evening posts, things like that. So just because they see it a lot doesn't mean everybody else is seeing it a lot. Exciting thing is that we will have a new product announced at Leaders Retreat. I don't know if you guys haven't heard that. We don't know anything about it, but be excited because we will have one coming out. That'll be in October. So we want to rev up this month, get as many people watching us as we can, and then when we shoot out that new product, hopefully we can get that going really quick. And make sure you have that list going, like she said, of people who like and comment on your posts. That's perfect people to contact when that new product comes out. Oh, and something else I announced today is if you do have the iPhone, you can now copy and paste through the Facebook app instead of having to go through Safari. And those of you who don't have to deal with that, believe me, it's a huge accomplishment when I can just copy and paste really quick. So that's it. I want to open for questions. We have about 6 to 7 minutes. Questions about anything at all? Oh, I am still looking for meet and greet September 11th. I'm still working on location, but again, it will be in the Hiram area. Hiram, maybe Douglasville if I have to, but my goal is Hiram. But that is, we're looking for September 11th just to get together, have dinner, chit chat, and I'm sure Plexus questions will come up, but it's not necessarily going to be any type of training. Now, I would like to set up an actual training for October for our team, so be on the lookout for that. It's just September is tough because it's fall break. I am going on vacation, so that leaves out really 2 weekends, extra Fridays, things like that. So, all right, questions. All right, I'm going to unmute everyone, so if you do not want to be unmuted, you'll have to unmute yourself just in case someone won't get out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh-huh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. This is Cynthia. I had a question as far as compliance is concerned. You said as long as we are posting images like the Plexus images for, let's say, BioCleanse or the ProBioFox, as long as it just has the general information, it is okay to post that?
Yeah, as long as you're not creating. Now, you're talking about one that's already like Plexus created, or?
Right.
Yeah, you can use those at any time. And a lot of the images that you see on Facebook have that code on them.
Okay.
So if you create an image, you definitely want to submit that to compliance.
Okay.
And then they'll ask you to put the code on the actual image that's posted.
Okay.
On the ground and just said, "Here's $800. Go pick it up. I got my $4,000." So who are we going after? The guy we need to go after.
Any other questions? Nothing? Any concerns or issues that you guys are having? Yeah. I considered doing, and I'll talk to you guys about this more, but I've thought about doing, it just came to me today, but doing a meeting as far as don't even know the words for it, but maybe issues you're having or complaints that you're having, or the things that customers are saying to you that you don't really know how to respond, or, you know, whatever, to where we can kind of bounce off of each other and say, you know, well, I've had this issue come up. This is how I handled it, or something like that. I don't know the right words for it, but I thought about having more of an interactive meeting to where we can kind of all help each other, bounce things off of each other, things like that. But I will figure that out. And if you guys have any thoughts on things that you feel like we need to talk about, please let us know. If you want to be a guest speaker, if you have something that you are passionate about or you feel very knowledgeable about, let us know that as well. We like to have as many people talk, because people do express things differently, and it can actually come across differently to where some people absorb it better. So the way I say things, you might say the same thing, but it for some reason is absorbed easier from somebody else. Nothing. No. All right, well, I guess I will end it there then. Don't forget challenges as far as making that YI plexus. And again, if you post that, and then if you see somebody post it, copy and paste yours on theirs in a comment so that their audience can see yours as well. So I guess that's it. I'll talk to you guys later.